Going back over to a neighbor's place here, go cut some more wood up. Got a few big trees, a couple big dead red oaks. The ash is leaning a little bit of the wrong way. Probably gonna have to do a little wedge work. Potentially even use the tractor just for a little safety to push this tree in a good direction. So all these pieces of equipment need to eat as the tractor's turn to get some diesel in it. So we're going to fill this up and we're going to go back get to work here. So, yeah, stay tuned. So we got this big ash here that I want to get down in this gap. It's really leaning at the road, but there's enough lean this way, if this makes sense, to get it to go this way, especially with wedges, but more so even with the grapple. But you can see that we've got kind of a crap maple tree that's hooping here, right here. I'm going to take that out first because that tree is actually in the way. I'll show you. We got another ash over here. Also dead, that I want to get to sneak through this way, and that's going to get hung up in that hoopy maple there. This little crap maple too, this little tiny one, that's going to go. We're going to throw this back that way. So I got to get rid of that tree to get these other couple that are on the ground. Now let's get this maple out of here. 462 go to 25-inch light bar. Barely hung up in there. I don't know if you could see it, but I steered that tree out of this tree right here. But there's just one limb that's up there. It was leaning over like across this tree. So I got it to go all the way out there, and it's just barely hung up right there. So if I just touch it with the grapple, it'll be good. Came out perfect. Right down the center of this. I did a little undercut here, and then you can see I freed this up, just cutting that with the cutting that hinge off while I was putting the back cut in. Just leave it hanging on the other side. But we put the tree right in the brush pile. Money. So we're gonna cut this ash tree now. There's two big leaders on this side of the tree. And I think ultimately it shouldn't matter. Most of the tree is actually leaning toward the road. It's a little bit back toward the house, but not much. I just don't think I can get it to go this way because it's got way more side lean than anything. So I'm gonna throw it into this gap in here. And there's probably gonna be some wedge work here. I'd like to do the whole thing with wedges, but I am going to have the tractor there just in case if I need to persuade this some. I'm going to default to leave the hinge pretty beefy. I don't want to lose control over this tree. You know, we are pretty near a house here, so we got to be on the safe side. I don't really see anything that this one can get hung up in. There's a maple tree kind of behind it to the left that is... Oh, that was my truck that was going off. Anyway, there's a little maple tree that's kind of directly behind this tree, but none of the top. This ash tree is way too tall. It's not going to get anywhere near it. So we might crush like a couple of like little tiny saplings, but ultimately it looks like it's going to be a pretty straightforward felling lane. So we'll get the 462 back fired up, and yeah, let's put a face cut in it. Make sure we got plenty of room for travel. And I mean by travel of the bird's mouth to close without running out of space. There she goes. Money. Now we did kind of ride one of the trees down a little. I wanted it to be a little bit left of that, but you know, it's in the hole that we said we were going to throw it down. Big tree, actually. Quite a bit of timber in here. We're going to basically send that other ash that this top just got near. We're going to send it back through this way now. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can pick up a bunch of this to just drag it back, and then I basically have to like drag enough back that I can go and pick up with the grapple so I can get it up over the electric fence that's just sitting on top of the ground. Got a nice section of log bucked off to bring up. We'll drag this one back, cut it, drag it back, cut it, drag it back. I also dropped another little dead maple back there at the completely hollowed out center. I'm going to show you. These are like I call them skanky maples. They're not doing great, and then they hollow out. A lot of times they're still solid wood though. But look at how you can see I just basically had hinge over here to put it in that gap. So more firewood though. I'm leaving some for my neighbor, and then I'm going to take some. They burn wood too. So anyway, let's keep that working.
You got dragon? Big hugs for a dragon. Hi, dragon.
A little redneck ingenuity. Again, I can't drag logs here. I'd really love to, but I can't because there is a electric fence. So basically all I can do, I can roll over it. It's not going to break it. But I'm just dragging logs. I got this one propped up so I can make a buck. I'll get the next log out, and then I'm getting them closer so that I can take these logs and put them in his pile and, you know, take some of this wood back to my house. This is all ash, so we're cutting ash, maple, and then eventually we'll get to those red oaks back there. But, you know, you got to think these things through and be methodical about it. Next one. I got leaders kind of out toward the road, but enough weight going back that way. The tree's not tall enough to make it over to the tractor. We're gonna send this one down through pretty much right at these two. Hopefully a little bit just to the right of those two. That's what I'm gonna be shooting for. And I might need wedges, so I got a couple smaller wedges with me because this isn't all that big of a tree. It's probably only like 15, 16 inches would be my guess. So yeah, let's see what we can do. Steering on the trunk went perfect. Check out this hinge. Perfect all the way across the stump. A little beefier on this side because it was leaning a little toward the road. So yeah, let's get this cleaned up and then we'll get to moving some logs around. I gotta say, using this stump with this hot wire makes everything so much easier. And I can make a cut. I got both access to both logs, so everything is all squared away. Not a bad harvest. Still more work to do over there. You gotta get those big oaks down. But I left him with a bunch of wood, and I got a bunch of wood here. Save them some money. Getting some problem trees down. And yeah, make use of the wood. Yeah, so we'll be back over there sooner than later to get some of those red oaks down that are back over toward the pond there. And yeah, there's a lot of firewood. I bet that those oaks there are almost good to burn in like 2 months. They've been dead standing. A lot of them have already kind of lost bark. So again, I haven't put a saw on it yet, so I'm hoping that it's not punky. Oak is pretty impervious to a lot of the elements, but it can certainly sit and rot on the stump. So we're going to have to check that out. I mean, I've hit it with an axe, with the back of the axe. It sounds solid. So anyway, we'll go back over there. We'll get some more wood done. And I got to get all this stuff processed. So stay tuned for more fun content. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Keep cutting, and as I always say, keep making a mess, cleaning it up, making a mess, cleaning it up. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.